Was I right about the month of April? Was it truly garbage? I'm gonna go ahead and give you the review of April. I know it's a little bit late, and that is why I'm having to deal with the Joker. Yes, I know this is a cheesy theme, but hopefully it makes you smile at how goofy I am. Anyway, let's get into it.
There is a difference between you and me.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. To them, you're just a freak. Like me.
Hi guys, Ungravy here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my review of the month of April. I know it's a bit late, but I've explained all this stuff and like other things. Check the links below. This is the Joker takeover of Untitled Gaming, so yeah, you'll see all the details below in case you're like, what is going on here?
And people say I'm crazy.
Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you my review of the month of April, how it went. I started off thinking it was gonna be a terrible month. At least that the freebie tune was gonna be absolutely garbage. And if I'm being fair, I think I was partially wrong, even mostly wrong. But I'm gonna go ahead, go through it again, let you know like how I felt about the month. I was relatively happy. Now here's the thing, I have a bias and a prejudice against the lanterns. Like not against them, but I just don't really rock with them like that. So I can't really get excited about it. It's like getting excited for a date with a person that you've already had a relationship with and that relationship went terribly, or at least boring. And now you're like, oh, we're gonna try it one more time. And you're like, do I need to get up for this? Do I need to shave? I'll just spray on some Dio. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't anything for me to get excited about. So after the fact, Abensur is amazing. Well, amazing is hyperbole. He's really good, and I like using him on my main account because I went ahead and just took him 70-11. In fact, now I think about it, when I get off, I think I'm gonna take him level 80 because I tend to take my taunters level 80, and Abensur is really like taunter support. Like he's very, I guess, niche in that utility. Like his actual utility in terms of the game, you can use him all over the place. However, he's not a big damage dealer, although he can do damage if you have invisible allies. Like he's good damage. He's good. He has the highest HP in the game, which makes him a good taunter, and you can put his taunt on himself. Also, he's good at healing your taunters if you're using like a barter or name a taunter. He's good at supporting taunters as well. So I think he's an overall good support utility tank. Like he's a tanky support taunter. I don't know. Anyway, so like he's good. I think he's really good tune. On my free-to-play account, he still drives me crazy. He's really good on my free-to-play account. However, when that A2 cracks, or doesn't crack, I should say, it drives me crazy, and it seems to always be in those moments when I need it the most. So that is still infuriating. That is where I'll mark him down. If I had to give him a tier, I'll say B tier. And if I had to say early game tier, you know what? End game tier, I would say, ooh. I'm leaning towards A for end game, but that's really, let's say B plus for end game, and let's say, yeah, B overall, because in the early game, he may not, in the mid game, he may not be that pack attack, that pack tactics thing is infuriating, but his utility is really good, especially when you're dealing with taunters and stuff. So I'll give him a B overall. Ultraviolet Jon Stewart. Let's be completely frank. I've set up all the videos and everything to make his in-depth character guide, which will be coming out soon, thanks to the Joker.
I hope you're watching, cause I've got a very special surprise for you.
But I haven't used him a lot. I've used him quite a bit. However, he's running into the trap, and this is going to be the problem with Alan Scott as well. It's not necessarily their fault that they're not performing well on the PvP meta side of things. I think he's going to be really good in PvE. PvP, he is good. However, you still got to get around debuff immunity, and you still have to deal with Spectre. Now, I don't ever bring in Ultraviolet Jon Stewart for damage. I don't use them in that way. I use them really honestly for that A3 to stun as many people as possible. Well, everybody or nobody. I use that to stun, and then he's okay everywhere else. He's fun to run with Parallax, for example. But He's not exactly groundbreaking in the sense of debuff immunity is still a thing. And I know Talon has really, and you'll get a part 2 of the Talon In-depth guide coming up soon, thanks to the Joker. But because of Talon, you can remove those debuff immunities but in order to get that to start off, it's like I got to use a Red Robin to get to a Talon so that Ultraviolet Jon Stewart can lay down the stun. If I want to go first, it's going to be either Cheetah or Martian Manhunter. I filled up my entire roster already just to get him to do his AoE stun. And I mean, it's good. It's good. It's really good, especially in situations where you can use it. But with debuff immunity still being so heavy, it's not as effective as I would want it to be. Hopefully that changes as I use it more and more. But he's like right there with a Ben Sword. He's good and he's fun, but I'll use him in a fun situation. But if I got a problem, he's not exactly solving that problem. You know what I'm saying? So I still would give him a B tier. Maybe A, because that stun is really useful, but I just getting around the debuff immunity and stuff. Me personally, I'm gonna give him a B. Alan Scott. Oh wait, no. Is that? Yeah. Parallax. Parallax for me is getting a solid A. I think he's one of the better taunters in the game. I think he's just, and again, I keep saying for me, but and I'm being a bit subjective and a bit biased because I'm the guy who likes beefy taunters, giving himself the stamina ups. Keeping the taunt on him is relatively good. Not as good as like a Barda or something, but he's relatively good at keeping the taunt up. He is the energy version of Barda again, like kind of truly that again. And to me, he surpassed Clayface as the best beefy energy taunter in the game. And I only have him, I think I have him level 80, but only L4. So when I can take him RB1, I'm going to as soon as possible. I think he's really good. I give him A tier. So I would say Parallax, very good in the game. I do enjoy him. Moving on next, we are going to Alan Scott. Alan Scott. I think he's really good, but I'm gonna give him a. I think I'm gonna give him a B. The reason being, running him up against Supergirl, for example, and seeing how much crit damage down she would put. By the way, there was a viewer who called me on that because I was saying crit chance down, and it really was crit damage down. So that's my fault. But the crit damage down from Supergirl was just basically neutralizing him because all he does is crit. So if he has a bunch of crit damage downs, then when he hits, he literally hits for 0. So Supergirl can handle him. If you have Aquaman, Aquaman can handle him if Aquaman's running lead. If you're trying to use him up against Spectre, he's not going to one-shot Spectre. So that kind of, like, there's so many ways to just kind of neutralize, given the current meta and what people are doing. He doesn't really have much of a place right now. And I can't really work around it unless I run into like a really heavy energy team. And when I have other options like Yara Flora, like Wonder Woman Coda, I mean, he's good. He can make your entire team tankier, giving them shields, giving himself death immunity and stuff like that. He'll stick around for a while, but he's not really that great. I would actually rank him below. I would give him a C tier. I would rank him below a Ben Sur. I would rank him below Ultraviolet Jon Stewart. And it's not even his own fault because I think his kit is really good. But I'm not going. He's C tier in terms of I'm not going to be able to use him that much. I'm not going to use him that much just because he just doesn't. He doesn't matter. He's not going to make a difference. I have other options that I would rather reach for first before going to Alan Scott. So there's that. Give him a C tier. That feels harsh because he's not a C tier kit. Like it's like Yara Flora. She's downgraded to like B for me. So is Wonder Woman Coda, but only because you have Spectre running around out there all the time, so I never get to use them, and I love playing with them. It's just infuriating. It's not even their faults necessarily. There's going to be, when I go to my preview video, there's going to be a hard counter to Spectre, and I don't think Connor Kent is that solution. Connor Kent, if you guys know the game over the last year, Connor Kent is the Batman Jace Fox Riddler solution to Black Flash. Connor Kent is the Spectre solution. That's the equivalent to me. The Aquaman solution to Spectre is yet to come. So going on down the list, I think the month was overall good. Nightmare Campaign, I tried to mix things up a little bit, but it was okay. It wasn't that much of a challenge. Going on down. I think I just missed what I was looking for actually. Is that it? Oh, no. So here we go. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Give me a second while my brain keeps farting. Oh, and that was the other thing, the events. So I really, really, really enjoyed the fact, as a matter of fact, I'm checking here because usually they're supposed to be, am I going crazy? I must be going crazy. So I'm just gonna have to do this from memory because usually you'll have like the PvP events and everything else there. So the fact that they had one gym blitz was hard for the month, and that's why I would downgrade the month a lot. I was scared, I was terrified that that was going to be a permanent thing. However, in the month of May, we're already there, and there are 2 gym blitzes for the month. However, going back to it, and actually, let me check right now. I do not believe, I like the fact that there were 2 events for tunes that were reworked this month. So the tunes that were reworked we're in month May right now, April, March, my birthday month. The tunes that were reworked then, Talia and Hush, they both had events in March. They both were reworked in March, and they both had events in April. I would have liked to have seen that carry over into May, where the tunes that were reworked in April, so Alan Scott and Parallax, would have both had events this month. That is a very big plus on the month of April, and I spent like huge props for that. And I'm going to check right now because I genuinely don't remember, and I don't want to switch over to the May coming up thing right now. I'm going to check on my phone real quick to see if there is an event. I wish that they would have kept that style. I'm pretty sure there's not, but I'm hoping against hope that I am wrong. And so there's an Alan Scott event, and then there's a Parasite event. So like, why don't we have a Parallax event? That would have helped me take them RB1. I'm not sure it would have, but it would have helped me. And so we don't have a Parallax event, right? I mean, they could have even, let me double check the PvP Showdown, because I think the PvP Showdown, it's Doomsday. Like, you could have put Parallax as the Showdown PvP thing, like if you wanted to. I know they're putting another tune in there, but missed opportunity. I liked having those 2 things there. So that was the plus I would give. I think April was good. It was not nearly as fun as March. I still think March was the best month this year. But April was good. I think it was good. I was too hard on the Bensor. Solid B. Ultraviolet Jon Stewart, solid B. He might be an A. I just need to use him a little bit more. However, this is one thing I did want to mention. The fact that a Bensor has that one ability that I'm never going to take, the A4 Legendary, that's a big markdown. And then also with Jon Stewart, I took him L3 after the raids. I don't know that I should have. Like, I took him L3 because of the power boost, not because of the legendary abilities, because there was only 2 that I felt that were absolutely necessary. All the other, I took the other one that I'm going to take, and I'm going to take him L4 once I get those frags from the PvP month next month. But because of that, there were 2 legendary abilities that I thought were like really, really necessary. And in fact, I'll go ahead and tell you the ones now. And then the other 3, I was like, I'm going to use the crystals on them. I don't think they detract from you like they did with a Bensor's A4 P1. However, they don't strike me as like, oh, well, I gotta have this. It was like, I had a hard time choosing because they were all so blah. So I took the A1, which was damage dealt, ignore shield. Then I took the A2, which is if at least one enemy gets enraged, gain 1 permanent intelligence up. And then even that was kind of like, okay. And then the A4P1 also gain 1 affinity power up for negative emotion conduit. That's the passive ability. I took that over the A3. Gain 1 permanent stamina up on the A3. Like, the A3, unless I have him next to Donna Choi and he has this like ridiculous, like a reduced cooldown, and I'm going to use him in PvE situations like Nightmare Campaign, like that 1 permanent, not even empowered stamina, just 1 permanent stamina up, I'm not really checking for that. And then if any enemy attacks John while he's taunting, 30% chance to apply doom to the attacker. Like, that's not, there's so many gates. If an enemy attacks Jon Stewart while he's taunting, then you still have a 30% chance. There's so much stuff that has to happen for a 30% chance to give doom, which can be purged very easily in the last 4 turns. Like, miss me. Not really impressed. So, yeah, that's why they're Bs. I think that Jon Stewart might have even been good at L1. I don't know. I'm really, really like just not thrilled about the legendary points, gotta be honest. Anyway, so that is April to me. I think it was an okay month. It was kind of meh. The way, like going back and looking at Jon Stewart's kit and going back and looking at Ben Stewart's kit, like just now when I'm doing that, has made me like even rethink, like, yeah, they'll be good, and I'm glad I put them at B's. I'm glad I did the same thing with Alan Scott, and I'm glad I did the same thing with Parallax, because I say that now. I think Jon Stewart might make it into my like not my rotation, but I might reach for him every once in a while. A Ben Stewart, I think I'll reach for every once in a while if I think it's going to be a difficult situation, but they might end up just being bench warmers and never being used that much later on. So in any case, I drop these videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and when I don't, the Joker takes over my channel. So please like, please subscribe. If you don't like it, hit subscribe, and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. Thanks for watching all the way through. I'll see you next time.